G'day guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. Today's video, by the title, you can see that I'm doing my finals tips, well not tips and predictions, but I'm going to be predicting the AFL finals series today. As we all know, the 2025 home and away season finished up last week, and heading into finals, obviously, no footy this week for AFL obviously, so yeah, pretty exciting final series coming up. Got a lot of teams in contention for that, so it's going to be very exciting to see what happens there. Just before we get into the video, make sure you like and subscribe, hit that subscribe and that like button. Trying to get 100 subscribers by the end of the year, that'd be amazing. But yeah, not going to keep you guys waiting any longer, so let's just get stuck into the video. Let's go. Righto guys, as we can see here, we've got the finals right down here, which we're going to be predicting in just a second. Some pretty good matchups, as we can see. Let's go have a look at the ladder real quick. Obviously, we'll go from top to bottom. Obviously, just sneaking into the 8, Hawthorn. Obviously, off that loss against Brisbane in a game that was arguably rigged, but being at the game myself, it was an absolute umpiring catastrophe towards Brisbane. Towards anyone, there was no holding the ball freeze called at all. It was just a whole slugfest, kind of similar to that 2019 or something Anzac Day between obviously Collingwood, Essendon. That was pretty bad. But moving on, Gold Coast making their first ever final series, 7th spot after that huge win against Essendon, sneaking to 7th. They could have finished top 4 if they beat Port Adelaide on that Friday night, in which they didn't obviously. So anyway, 7th place for Gold Coast, highest ladder position in their history. Then you got Fremantle, 6th spot. I think well deserved, but not sure how they go in September, but pretty well deserved there. They've been solid all year. 6th place home final against Gold Coast. Wouldn't be stiff about that at all. GWS as well. Yeah, really good all year round performance. Finishing 1 place down than what they were last year. Obviously 4th place they were, but good home final against Hawthorn. They'll host there. Collingwood back into the top 4 after their shock year last year, after finishing 9th. So good for them, Collingwood, to get back into premiership contention. Then my mighty Brisbane Lions in 3rd spot. Obviously a much better season than last year. Gives us a better chance going to back-to-back again. So good for us, Brisbane Lions. Geelong, 2nd. Oh yeah, I was a bit stiff about Geelong in the second half of the season there. I just won once against the top 8 side in the last, 10 weeks or something, like something stupid like that, which is crazy. And people will go, oh yeah, they beat Adelaide, and oh yeah, they beat the Pies at the MCG, so did other teams, and also they've had an incredibly easy run home. So 2nd spot, I'm not too keen on the Cats, but anyway, 2nd spot they get. And then Adelaide, inspiring season from 15th to 1st, absolute ripper of a year Adelaide have, and they're probably honestly one of the premiership favourites, if not the premiership favourite. So yeah, great for Adelaide, minor premiership, first minor premiership since 2017, so amazing for them. Without further ado, let's just get into the finals. So, obviously the first qualifying final between Adelaide and Collingwood at Adelaide Oval. It's going to be a tough game, obviously. These two teams versus each other not too long ago, only a couple of weeks ago in the home and away season, around 23 it was. But Adelaide got up by 9 points, I think it was. It was 59 to 56, I think. Yeah, a 3-point win over Adelaide, absolute thriller. Game could go either way. But I just feel the Crows, obviously, they don't have as much finals experience as obviously Collingwood. Haven't played since 2017, so I'm not surprised if the Pies can beat them. They arguably should have beaten them in that home and away game not too long ago. They had so many more inside 50s than Adelaide did. They just couldn't put it on the scoreboard. But yeah, I think for my prediction's sake, I'm just going to have to go Adelaide. I think they'll be too strong for Collingwood here. So that means Adelaide move to a home preliminary final, and the Pies move to a home semi-final. So a ripper of a game, could go either way. Would not be surprised in the slightest if Collingwood get up. Anyways, moving on, the second game of the finals. Well, not the second game in order, but anyway, the first elimination final between Giants and the Hawks. Absolute 50-50 game here. The Hawks haven't versed the Giants at NG in forever. It's been too long, I can't remember. It has been a while. I feel though it's so hard to predict because the Giants obviously will want to really put really want to make a statement of their last finals series where they went out in straight sets. Obviously, that loss to Sydney in the qualifying final, and then the come from behind loss against Brisbane in that semi-final. Heartbreak. I can see the Giants absolutely clomping the Hawks here, but I don't know. I could go either way. But I feel like the Hawks, something about the Hawks makes me think they're going to win it here. Sam Mitchell and his boys, I reckon they're going to eliminate the Giants again for another sad season for the Giants. Sad finals series, should I say, for the Giants. Can see them getting out, can see them beating the Hawks, but I just feel the Hawks get up in this one, so yeah. Moving on to the next one. Fremantle and Gold Coast. Ripper of a game, obviously. Gold Coast making finals for the first time, their first ever finals appearance in their history since 2011. So yeah, obviously Fremantle beat them earlier in the year. They only versed once earlier in the year at People First Stadium, and they got up by a decent amount actually. Good for Fremantle, but not good for the Suns. They have to travel away, but I reckon they can get a decent fan base in Gold Coast. It's what happens to the Giants every year. They usually have a pretty subpar cheer squad in the home and away season, especially at away games. But in finals, they usually turn it up, the Giants, they do. But I think the same thing for Gold Coast here. They have similar fan bases. So yeah, I reckon they can pump them up. I honestly don't really see the Suns winning this. They have obviously no finals experience whatsoever, and Fremantle obviously don't really have some either. They haven't played since 2022, so that could really deconfident. They could really deconfidize, if that's even a word, Fremantle here. But I think for the sake of it, Fremantle should get up here. I hope the Suns do prove me wrong though, because I do want to see more of them in September. But I think Fremantle is just a straightforward game here. Obviously, no finals experience for the Suns, and I reckon the Suns will come back out again in 2026. And moving on to another blockbuster game, the second qualifying final of the MCG between Geelong and Brisbane. Absolute rivalry this team have. Obviously, Brisbane having the wood over them twice this year. First by 9 points at the Gabba in round 3, which was supposed to be played in opening round, but got postponed to the Cyclone. And the second time at the Cattery in Geelong, Lions absolutely destroyed them there by 41 points, I believe the margin was. But yeah, MCG, the Lions have been playing, the reigning premiers have been playing some really good footy away from home, if not their best footy away from home. They've been a bit shaky at the Gabba, to be honest. But yeah, I could genuinely see this game going anyway. But Brisbane, the wood against Geelong, and their fight against the MCG, I'm pretty sure I've heard that they've been hungrier than ever to get this other premiership right up there. And usually, this is actually a true known fact. History says it that Brisbane have never not gone back to back in their history. They've only won 3 premierships, known as as they've been known as the Brisbane Lions, and that was obviously the 2001, 2002, and 2003 premierships. Obviously going back to back there. So I don't know. It's gonna be weird. It's going to be interesting to see, obviously, as the reigning premiers. But in this game, I think the Lions will get up. I think the Lions will be a bit too strong for the Cats here at the MCG. They've had an easy run home, the Catters. So I feel like against some real, genuine competition, they'll struggle under that pressure. So yeah, I think the Lions will get up in that one, and they'll host a home prelim final, I should say, at the Gabba. Now, moving to the semi-finals, sets up a blockbuster at the MCG against Collingwood and Hawthorn. These two genuine contenders, I'd say. Yeah, tough game to tip. Obviously, the Hawks will be coming off that Giants win in Sydney, so that will give them confidence. And obviously, that loss against the Crows there. I'd love to see the Pies going out in straight sets here. I absolutely hate the Pies, as a lot of footy fans do. So it's gonna be very interesting to see this game, but I don't know. It's been weird this year. Collingwood, when these two teams versed, it was very weird. So when these two teams versed, Collingwood absolutely beat the living shit out of Hawthorn. I think it was 105 or 160, 57, I think it was. Very bad performance for the Hawks. And then in round 22, I think it was, something like that. Not too sure. yeah, it was round 22. The Hawks absolutely beat the shit out of Collingwood, so very weird. But knowing that, if that's going to continue the trend, Collingwood should win here. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Pies won't lose this one. I feel the Hawks give it all they got, but it's going to be an absolute thrill. I reckon the Pies will get up against the Hawks in that semi-final clash, setting up a date with the Lions at the Gabba in the prelim final. So yeah, and then the next semi-final we have is Geelong and Fremantle at the MCG as well. 2 MCG games in 1 week. Victorian fans will be licking that up. Geelong, Fremantle, I don't know. I can see the Cats going out to trade sets here, obviously, with their run home, especially. But I don't know if Fremantle are that good to come and wreck up Geelong in a semi-final of the MCG. Obviously, when they versed earlier in the year, I think it was round 1, Geelong clobbered Fremantle in a very easy win there. I feel like this will be a better game to watch, but I feel like Geelong should just get up against Fremantle. And look, I want to see Fremantle in a prelim final. That'd be absolutely scenes, but I feel like Geelong should get up here. And Geelong will win that game, and that sets up a prelim final day against the Crows at the Adelaide Oval. So yeah, as I said before, moving on to the prelim final week, Adelaide-Geelong at the Adelaide Oval on a Friday night. It would be absolute blockbuster game of the year. It could be. Going to be interesting. Obviously, the last time these two faced in a prelim was 2017, where Adelaide destroyed Geelong in a game where they went into the grand final, and obviously that year they went on to lose to the Tigers in that grand final. So yeah, very interesting game to say the least. Obviously, Geelong, good for them. They beat Adelaide there in gather round by 19 points early in the year. That's when they had a hard fixture. So I'm not too sure here to tip. It's going to be a very interesting game. Do I see the Crows getting into the grand final, considering they haven't played finals for an absolute hot minute? I feel like they will. I feel like the Crows will get up against the Cats in a thriller, and they will be the first in the grand final. So I genuinely see it going any way. I can see Geelong making the grand final, but in this one, I'm just going to go the Crows here. Then, the last prelim final for the year, we've got Brisbane Collingwood at the Gabba. Obviously, me as a Brisbane Lion fans, I do not want to look back to the last time we versed them at the Gabba. Collingwood beat us by 52 points, I think it was, on our home deck. It wasn't great to see. It was our first loss of the year, to be exact. But the last time we versed each other at the MCG, we got up by 27 points, which is good for the Lions. Obviously, our form has been shaky at the Gabba. I can generally see it going any way. But a strong Lions side, I reckon. I know, call me biased, but I genuinely think Brisbane have a chance at back-to-back. So I'm going to go to Lions to beat the Collingwood Magpies in an absolute thriller at the Gabba. I can genuinely see the Pies winning it, but yeah, I just really feel like Brisbane will get into the grand final, and they will really have a chance going back-to-back. With that being said, that leaves us to the grand final. Adelaide-Brisbane at the MCG. Absolute ripper. Back-to-back non-Victorian grand finals. That would be amazing to see. Obviously, Adelaide being from South Australia, Brisbane being from Queensland, so that's pretty self-explanatory. This would set up a huge grand final. Obviously, the last time they played in the grand final, Adelaide, they lost to the Richmond Footy Club. Wasn't great for them. And Brisbane obviously winning. Brisbane, honestly, if they make the grand final this year, that's 3 grand finals in a row. And yeah, obviously Collingwood in 2023, where they lost that granny, and we beat the Swans last year, obviously. So this would set up 3 in a row grand finals. In this game, I'm so tempted to go Brisbane, obviously, back to back. So, and I think that'll just be the case. Absolute thrill again. I'm gonna go Brisbane to beat the Crows. I've said it here. I've said it here first. Brisbane to beat the Crows in the 2025 AFL Grand Final. Absolute ripper of a game. But Brisbane to get it done here. I don't think the Crows are quite there yet. We should have beaten the Crows earlier in the year at Adelaide Oval. where we kicked 7 behinds to 6 goals, I think it was, and the Crows came back to win by 5 points. We should have won that game. We looked the better side for the most part. I feel like that's just where we are. I think the competition severely underrate Brisbane as a side. I just really think Brisbane will just get it done again. Back-to-back. Norm Smith medals. I'll make a Norm Smith medals prediction here. I'm going to give it to Zach Bailey. I reckon he'll have a Norm Smith day out at the MCG against the Crows. So, yeah, it's going to be an absolute game. But, anyways, that is it for the predictions. So, let's go through them real quick. But Adelaide to beat Collingwood. So this is the first week. Adelaide to beat Collingwood. Hawthorn to beat the Giants. Freo to beat the Suns. Lions to beat the Cats. Pies to beat, then second week, Pies to beat the Hawks. Cats to beat the Dockers. And then prelim final week, Crows to beat the Cats. Lions to beat the Pies. And then the grand final, Lions to beat the Crows. So, absolute ripper of final series. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, that was the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Obviously, I'll drop my tips, my proper finals week 1 tips upcoming this week. Obviously, it's the weekend now, so not too stressed about that. But anyway, guys, if you guys enjoyed the video, please do like, comment, and subscribe. It means a lot to this channel. Obviously, we've built over the past 2 years. So, yeah, not going to keep you guys any waiting. Have a beautiful weekend, guys. See you in the next video.